Little people, big world. Is Chris Marek obsessed with Matt? Matt's engaged to Caryn, and I don't think Chris should be friends with him anymore. Hi dear beautiful friends. It's America from Motion 44 YouTube channel. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Please subscribe to my channel. Little people, big world star Chris Marek's stirring up trouble by building such a strong friendship with Amy Roloff's ex, Matt Roloff. This will end in tears. Chris may not fully understand how much emotional damage he's causing, and he needs to wake up. Amy has made it crystal clear that she hates the situation. When he continues his friendship with the man who hurt Amy so much, Chris seems passive-aggressive. Chris doesn't seem like a bad guy in general, but this bromance is a red flag. Chris certainly doesn't need to sit around chatting with the man who blew Amy's heart to smithereens, and yet he does just that. In Little People, Big World Season 25, Chris and Matt hung out. While they did, they mocked Amy's nasty habit of leaving drawers and doors open. Sure, it was lighthearted teasing, but it's exactly what Amy's been so afraid of. This stuff should not be happening. Amy can't stand it when they compare notes, and there's no good reason why she should have to put up with this. Amy's a strong woman. She's spent her life trying to live up to other people's expectations. As a little person in a world designed for taller people, she's overcome so many obstacles. Now, after a painful divorce that made her utterly miserable, and family drama over the fate of Roloff Farms, she deserves some peace. Amy has raised her children. She's a loving grandmother, a caring wife, and a good friend. She needs a husband who doesn't rub salt in the wound. Little people. Big World's Chris Marek's relatives said on screen that he was lonely before he met Amy and fell in love with her. Maybe he wanted more male friends too. It's possible that he and Matt just clicked. They actually seem to get along better than Chris and Amy do. Chris and Matt love each other. It really is a bromance. They're all lit up when they're together. This is a worst-case scenario for Amy. Sometimes it seems like Matt deserves the same type of criticism. He's a man who wants his way. He's goal-oriented and even caused a feud with his children, listing the farm for sale instead of passing it down to them. In December 2023, after listing the property twice, he took it off the market. Zach tried to buy it but didn't offer enough money. This stuff is very hurtful for the children, and Zach's had a hard time getting past it. He and Matt are basically estranged. Any contact that they do have is painfully awkward. Nonetheless, Matt, who left Amy for a Roloff Farms employee, Caryn, feels comfortable shading his ex-wife. He hates Amy's bossy ways. Amy says she's learned from experience that there can't be too many bosses. Someone has to be in control. There may be some truth to that, but Matt and Caryn, who just announced their engagement in real life, feel like Amy wants to micromanage everyone. There's a lot of tension simmering under the surface in the family. People are pushing down some of their emotions rather than expressing them. For this reason, Chris should stay away from Matt. If he does that, Amy can relax. She won't be triggered all the time. She can just be herself. Amy needs to find out who she is away from Matt. She doesn't need him anymore. While Chris is making a mistake with this friendship, he's wonderful to Amy in other ways. Chris seems very mellow, friendly, and cool. He's adventurous enough to be interesting. He has changed his life a lot for Amy. For example, he never wanted kids, but now has a lot of interactions with Amy's children and grandchildren. He does his best to be there for Amy's kids and grandkids. When he bought one grandchild a bike, it was a very sweet moment. Chris is trying. See him on his motorcycle trip with Amy above, as per World Today at YouTube. Maybe he wants the Roloff grandkids to ride motorbikes some days. He made Amy freeze on the back of a motorbike for hours because he wanted to have a grand adventure. However, when it was all over, Amy was probably glad that she went with him. These new experiences that he gives her are priceless. Without him nudging her to branch out and explore, she might spend too much time living in the past. Chris is positive, upbeat, and able to get along with a lot of people. The realtor in him is used to schmoozing and schmoozing well, so it's not surprising that he's able to bond with Matt. Chris is a people person, but to Amy, Matt is a toxic man. He is someone that should be avoided unless Amy says they should all get together. Hopefully, Chris will come to his senses. This situation has become unpleasant for Amy. She complains about it to other people. To keep their marriage strong, the couple should spend time with Matt only when they have to. Amy should be the one who decides when everyone gets together. Chris changes his ways. The duo has a good shot at happiness. He's adventurous, yes, but he's also a calming presence. He's nice, and he's fun to be around. Life should be fun, and with Matt, Amy was always walking on eggshells. With Chris, she can picnic in a park or watch him enjoy the treats Amy bakes. Her love and sense of duty were something that Matt never really understood. Chris is much gentler with her feelings, except when it comes to Matt. Why LPBW fans still think Caryn and Chris are using Matt and Amy? It doesn't seem to matter that both Amy and Matt Roloff are in committed relationships, as some Little People, Big World viewers feel their partners, Caryn Chandler and Chris Marek, are using them. Caryn and Chris became a part of the family after Matt and Amy decided to divorce. To many viewers, Matt was a narcissist who tried to control Amy and dismissed her ideas about the farm. However, even after Matt and Amy divorced, they had to remain amicable due to their shared ownership of the property. As time wore on, they pursued new relationships with Caryn and Chris, but Little People, Big World viewers noticed a few red flags. They worried the Roloffs were being used for their fame and money, concerns that continue to this day. While some viewers have started to more or less embrace Chris, they haven't warmed up to Caryn in the same way viewers have watched Chris cheer on Zach at a competition, enthusiastically help out on the farm, and truly show love for Amy. All of these things have helped endear him to viewers. However, Caryn is more of a question mark for those who watch the show, partly due to speculation over how her relationship Caryn and Matt began dating in 2017, with viewers learning that Caryn was instrumental in running Roloff Farms. Caryn worked behind the scenes at the pumpkin patch for 10 years as the manager. As such, some TLC viewers still believe that Matt and Caryn had an affair, with Amy hinting at it in her own book. Caryn has also been accused of being with Matt for his money, as it is said he is worth $4 million. Caryn's behavior hasn't helped assuage these concerns, especially after inserting herself in Matt and Zach's feud last season. Even the viewers have a higher opinion of Chris thanks to his attempts to bond with the Roloff children. Some still feel he is also trying to get into Amy's deep pockets. He once took to Facebook to discuss being a player, leading many to believe he was and still is trying to deceive Amy. However, Chris has his own very successful real estate business, meaning he likely doesn't have an interest in Amy's money. Still, Little People, Big World viewers are fiercely protective of both Amy and Matt, since they have been on the journey with them for years. Little People, Big World, 10 times Caryn and Matt seemed totally heartless. Matt Roloff and Caryn Chandler have exhibited heartless behavior in Little People, Big World. The reality series debuted in 2006 and highlighted the Roloff family navigating their lives with dwarfism. Their eldest son, Zach Roloff, has been an integral part of the show. However, their family dynamic shifted when Matt and Amy Roloff decided to get divorced. From that point on, the Roloffs were never the same, and Matt started a relationship with Caryn, whom Amy believes he cheated with. Matt's ego has gotten out of control, and Little People, Big World has suffered because of him. Matt and Caryn's decisions tore the family apart. One of the worst moments for the family came when Matt listed the Roloff Farms without telling anyone. Amy sold her part of the farm to Matt because she believed he was leaving it to their children. He betrayed the trust of Zach, and their relationship has been fractured since. Zach and his wife, Tori Roloff, announced they won't be returning to Little People, Big World, hinting that there is no future for one of the best reality TV shows, which may be Matt and Caryn's fault. Before getting engaged to Matt, Caryn worked as an employee at the Roloff farms. She had been a long-term manager running the pumpkin patch. Amy trusted her as an employee and was taken aback when they started pursuing a real relationship. It was heartless of Caryn to start dating her employer, who was married, but it was Matt who began dating the person who ran the pumpkin patch. Looking back, their memories on the farm must be tainted with questions about when Caryn and Matt's relationship went further than an employee-to-boss dynamic. Before Matt got divorced from Amy, he was communicating inappropriately with Caryn. In Amy's memoir, A Little Me, she alleged she found messages between Matt and Caryn while they were still married. She knew Caryn because she was working as the manager of the pumpkin patch on the Roloff farms. However, Amy alleges the conversations she saw between Matt and Caryn were inappropriate and should not have been going on between two people who had a working relationship for years. Amy believes Matt and Caryn had an affair. Amy was married to Matt for over 30 years, and they had built the Roloff farms together. Caryn entered the picture as an employee working on the pumpkin patch. However, Amy alleged she found pictures and messages between them while she and Matt were married. Amy ended her marriage with Matt after that, though he insisted he wasn't having an affair with Caryn. However, it was shady how they entered a relationship and got engaged after he and Amy split. Their behavior towards Amy is rather patronizing. One of the oddest moments in Little People, Big World Season 25 was when Matt told Amy he was leaving the farm to her if he died. It was shocking news for Amy, and she was visibly stunned when Matt told her. The moment felt like her ex-husband was trying to overcompensate for the pain he caused Amy in the past. The Roloff farms have caused quite a drama in the family's lives. Once again, Matt was using the farms as damage control for Amy. There has always been speculation that Caryn was using Matt for his money. Before they got together, Caryn was in the process of leaving her previous 2-decade-long marriage. She worked her way up the ranks on the farm and eventually became Matt's assistant. When it was revealed they were together, many of Amy and Matt's children found this odd. Appearing on a reality show for quite some years can ensure a steady flow of income. Caryn could have seen this and used her connection with Matt to ensure financial stability. Matt and Caryn got a home together and raised some red flags for Little People, Big World fans. He wasn't too keen on the new home because it lacked accessibility for him. In the 2-story home, the primary bedroom was upstairs, and Matt did not want to attempt to use the stairs. Because of that, he began sleeping downstairs while Caryn slept upstairs. She got her new home, but did not consider Matt in the process. Matt forms an out-of-the-blue bromance with Amy's new husband, Marek. Their relationship stressed Amy out, and it feels like an attempt from Matt to be passive-aggressive towards his ex-wife. During Little People, Big World Season 25, Matt and Chris gossiped about Amy's cleanliness. Matt has continued to badmouth his ex-wife and has even deemed her a dictator. Amy must be worried that his negative thoughts about her will rub off on her current husband, Chris. Caryn had an influence on Matt's decision to put the Roloff farms on the market. Caryn said she didn't want any responsibility for the farms. Whether she meant to or not, her sentiments seeped into Matt's subconscious. He was eager to move on and leave his past life behind to start a new chapter with Caryn. Because she didn't want to continue with the farms, Matt didn't think selling the Roloff farms would be a problem. He only thought about Caryn and forgot to consider how the decision would impact the rest of his family, specifically Zach. Matt and Caryn broke Zach Roloff's dreams when they wouldn't sell the Roloff farms to him. Throughout his life, Zach grew up on the farms and was excited to take responsibility for them as the eldest son in the family. However, Matt shocked the family when he listed part of the farm on the market without consulting anyone else. This devastated Zach, as he thought he was a shoo-in to take over the Roloff farms. Matt offered Zach a piece of the land for $4 million, a price he knew his son couldn't afford. Matt took another jab at Amy by seemingly mocking her age. On his Instagram, Matt posted a group photo with himself, Caryn, Chris, and Amy in 2022. In the caption, he asked negative people to please go away gracefully and avoid commenting hate in his comment section. However, at the end of the caption, he said he was willing to respond to the fools for fun if you are over 55 and mature and to qualify. His comment was seen as throwing shade toward Amy, who was 57 at the time. Caryn is officially done filming Little People, Big World. It's unclear if Little People, Big World will return for season 26. However, Matt shed some light on the future of the show on his Facebook page after the season 25 finale aired. Matt said it was becoming difficult to film the show as more and more family members drift away, hinting at Zach and Tori's exit from Little People, Big World. He added that his fiancée, Caryn, was done with filming and didn't want to partake in another potential season. Matt did not share his own opinions about the show continuing. However, with Zach and Tori leaving the reality series, there would not be much for production to film for Little People, Big World Season 26. The only potential major event that could be filmed is Matt and Caryn's wedding. Instead of thinking about that, Caryn is heartless and opts out of being on the show. Their wedding could be a major storyline next season, but with Caryn saying she won't film, that option is out. Matt and Caryn seemed heartless in Little People, Big World. From the beginning of their relationship, Caryn has been influencing Matt's decisions. He hasn't done the best job navigating difficult conversations with his ex-wife and children, which has been shown on Little People, Big World. Little People, Big World's next generation. See the TLC stars' babies meet the Little People, Big World little ones. Matt Roloff and Amy Roloff's kids have been growing families of their own over the years. Tori Roloff and Zach Roloff were the first of the TLC personalities to become parents, welcoming son Jackson in May 2017. Their daughter, Lila, arrived in November 2019. In March 2021, the reality stars suffered a miscarriage. We went in for our first ultrasound at 8 weeks and found out that we lost our sweet baby 2 weeks earlier, Tori wrote via Instagram at the time. I've honestly never felt lost like I did in that moment. I've never felt so sad, angry, and scared in a single moment. I had no symptoms of losing our sweet angel baby, and nothing could have prepared me for hearing our sweet baby was gone. The experience was definitely the hardest thing, she exclusively told Us Weekly in June 2021, adding, it was pretty traumatic. But I have 2 happy, healthy, beautiful kids I get to love on every single day. That's what I'm trying to remind myself. I'm still blessed for Sharia as for Zach's younger brother Jeremy Roloff, the creative love author, and his wife, Audrey Roloff, share daughter Ember and son Bode, born in September 2017 and January 2020, respectively. The couple, who wed in September 2014, exclusively told us in January 2021 that they wanted to welcome more kids in the near future. Audrey explained at the time, "We've always said we wanted to have a big family, and I do feel like my body is totally recovered now." She noted that despite a tricky transition, Ember had adjusted well to big sisterhood. She's always been super into babies and super nurturing, so she was excited. In July 2021, they announced their tiebreaker pregnancy, telling their Instagram followers, "We're about to be a family of 5." Jacob Roloff announced that same month that he was joining his siblings' parenting ranks. "Not for you but us. I'm very happy to say we're having a son." The former TLC personality, who exited the show in 2016, captioned an Instagram photo with wife Isabel Rock. The pregnant star added in a post of her own, We are elated to share that the baby boy we have been dreaming of is coming this December. Keep scrolling to see Jackson, Bode, and more little people. Big World Star's baby's cutest photo story gushed about her brave and curious son via Instagram in June 2021. Audrey praised her beautiful, fiery, creative, determined, hilarious, compassionate, imaginative, talkative, excitable, and precious girl in an April 2021 Instagram post. Jacob Roloff says he was molested by little people. Big World producer Jacob Roloff, a former star of TLC's Little People, Big World, says he was molested by one of the show's former producers. On Wednesday, Roloff, 23, opened up about his experiences in a lengthy Instagram statement. It is often much easier to think about things than it is to talk about them, and so this disclosure has been delayed. But through that delay, I have found the fortitude and words, he began. As a child, after what I realize now was a long grooming process, I was molested by a former producer for Little People, Big World. I do not expect to provide details of this encounter at any point publicly. I do hope he is never allowed around children again. Roloff wrote that he first debated coming out with his allegations after the producer texted him in 2015. I choose to disclose it now as it remains a traumatic memory that needs to be exorcised of any further power over my development. He wrote. Roloff is the youngest child of Amy and Matt Roloff, who each have dwarfism. He and his siblings, twins Zach and Jeremy, 30, and Molly, 27, appeared on the reality show. Roloff was 9 when the show premiered in 2006. Roloff hopes that coming forward may offer insight into how he views such a serious matter. By revealing this, I may be more fully understood and my perspective on issues such as child sexual abuse, child exploitation, and the collateral costs of reality television may be received more clearly, he wrote. Although, I would have to add that this experience has not solely defined my point of view on any of these issues, nor has it defined my worldview in general. This may also serve as a reminder that the experience of sexual assault, in all of its iterations, can happen to anyone at any time, and is a far more prevalent reality than our current social stigma allows us to talk about, he added. Roloff also noted that he remained quiet about the alleged molestation because he was a child and needed time to process. No more today. What are you thinking about this gossip today? Let us know in the comments and stay tuned by subscribing to our channel to get more updates like this. Thank you.